I have 2 packs of Oreos in front of me right now. Same brand, same logo, same black cookie, same white filling. One was bought at a grocery store in New Jersey, the other was bought at a Tesco in London. And the ingredients list on the back of each one is not the same. I am going to read you both lists, explain every difference in plain chemistry, and by the end of this video you are going to understand something about the American food system that most people never figure out. Here is what this video is actually about. It is not really about Oreos. It is about a practice that runs across hundreds of products sold by the same companies in different countries, where your version contains ingredients the international version does not. And the company never tells you. You are going to leave here with the ability to spot this pattern on any label, for any brand, anywhere in the store. That is your transformation. Now let me show you the receipts. Here is the US Oreo ingredient list. Unbleached enriched flour, sugar, palm and/or canola oil, cocoa, high fructose corn syrup, leavening, cornstarch, salt, soy lecithin, vanillin, chocolate. And here's the UK ingredient list for the exact same product. Wheat flour, sugar, vegetable fat, fat-reduced cocoa powder, wheat starch, glucose-fructose syrup, raising agents, salt, emulsifier flavoring. 3 differences jumped out at me immediately, and they are going to structure everything that follows. The first one surprised me the most, and it has nothing to do with corn syrup. Vanillin. The US Oreo names it. The UK Oreo lists only the word flavoring. Vanillin is synthetic. It is the primary aromatic molecule in vanilla, but it is not vanilla extract. It is produced industrially with common production pathways starting from lignin, a byproduct of the paper pulping industry, or from guaiacol derived from petrochemicals. The reason this matters is not that vanillin is dangerous, it is widely considered safe. The reason it matters is that your US label names it precisely, while the UK label hides it behind a generic category word, which is the exact opposite of what you would expect if you assumed European labeling was automatically more transparent. This comparison is already more complicated than the headline, and we are only 3 minutes in. Here is the moment I want you to screenshot and share, because I do not think most people have ever had this explained clearly. The difference between high fructose corn syrup in your US Oreo and glucose-fructose syrup in your UK Oreo is not a meaningful chemical difference. They are the same class of sweetener, a processed syrup with fructose and glucose in similar ratios. The name change reflects different regional naming conventions, not a different substance. So when you see people online saying the UK version has healthier sweeteners, that is simply not accurate. What the UK version does not have is the corn-based feedstock, because European manufacturers source from wheat or beet. But the molecule in your cookie behaves the same way in your body, regardless of which crop it started from. Your snack choice is your own, but your information should be correct. Now here is the difference that actually deserves your attention. This one has a clear regulatory cause. The US formula lists palm or canola oil. The UK formula lists vegetable fat without naming the source. In the EU, manufacturers are required to name specific tropical oils, such as palm or coconut, by their source. So the UK label saying vegetable fat without specification is actually less informative than your US label on this specific point. You are not looking at European purity versus American contamination. You are looking at 2 regulatory systems with different priorities, different loopholes, and different blind spots. Neither one tells you everything. So let me ask you directly. I want this in the comments. After watching this, do you still think the UK Oreo is automatically healthier? The internet is very confident that it is, and I want to know if this changed your answer. Let me tell you about the cocoa, because this is the most chemically meaningful difference and the least discussed. The US label says cocoa. The UK label says fat-reduced cocoa powder. Fat-reduced cocoa powder has been through Dutching, an alkalizing process that reduces acidity and darkens color. Dutched cocoa contains fewer flavanols than natural cocoa because the alkalizing process degrades them. Flavanols are the antioxidant compounds that most positive health research on dark chocolate focuses on. So, if you eat dark chocolate because you have read about flavanols, the gap between natural and Dutched cocoa is a real one worth knowing about. The US Oreo does not tell you whether its cocoa has been Dutched either. Both labels are incomplete, just in different directions and on different questions. That is the thing that stayed with me through this entire comparison. Both labels are incomplete. Both formulas were optimized for cost, shelf life, and flavor consistency within their regional regulatory frameworks. Neither one was designed with your nutritional curiosity as the primary variable. The real question is not which Oreo is better for you. The real question is what the gap between these labels tells you about how food companies think about your right to know. Here is your second comment question, and think carefully before you answer. If Nabisco sells you a different formula in different countries, do you think they are ethically obligated to tell you that? Not legally. I know the legal answer. I want your ethical answer, because it sits at the center of a policy debate happening right now. Here is the practical takeaway. When you are comparing the same brand across regional markets, the differences worth your attention are named synthetic compounds versus generic category labels, named oils versus unspecified vegetable fats, and processing descriptors like fat reduced or Dutched that change the nutritional character of an ingredient. The differences that are less meaningful than they appear are different names for chemically equivalent sweeteners and reordered ingredient lists that reflect sourcing rather than formula changes. Apply that filter to these Oreos and you get two real differences: the vanillin disclosure and the cocoa processing descriptor. Everything else is noise from different labeling conventions, not different recipes. Your third comment question drives what I do next. What product do you want me to compare? Give me a brand and I will get both the US and UK versions, read both labels on camera, and break down every difference with the same level of detail I just gave you here. Your suggestions directly decide what I investigate, so drop the brand name in the comments right now. If this video gave you a more accurate picture than you came in with, and I hope it complicated the story in a useful way rather than just confirming what you already believed. Subscribe right now because every video on this channel runs on the same principle: documented chemistry, cited sources, and no exaggeration in either direction. Hit the bell because the algorithm does not reliably surface new videos from channels you follow, and the bell is the only guarantee you see the next one. Share this with someone who has strong opinions about US versus European food, because the most useful thing this video can do is put accurate information into a conversation that already has far too much confident misinformation in it. I'll see you in the next one.